Hello everyone, should we start slowly? Yes. Okay, great. I believe most of you heard about risk-taking and is probably at the moment the hottest topic in the Web3 space. It started already with the fundraising of Serena Kanan last year. When he raised his round, there was a lot of discussion what is going to happen with Ethereum. No one really understood. A lot of discussions happened. Many people think the risks could blow up Ethereum. On the other side, many people think it's just overrated and people are scared. And basically everything culminated that even Vitalik Buterin came and said, hey guys, slow down, there are risks from the risk-taking side. The question is yet, what are those risks? What are these guys talking about? And hopefully I will manage to give you a better picture what possibly could happen in this space. Let me introduce myself. I'm the co-founder of Alterscope in the space since 2016, mostly working in DeFi side. Before that, spent more than 10 years in corporate development, working for major German corporations like Audi and E.ON. Alterscope is a startup located in Munich, co-founded together with my founder, Benedikt Eickmanns. We have offices besides Munich in London and Zagreb, and are now a 20-man startup. So what are we doing? So we at Alterscope are building a decentralized risk market, enabling and helping anyone to create verified risk models, which can be used by protocols on one side and institutions on the other side. A very simple way how to see us is something like a BlackRock for Web3 space. BlackRock Aladdin, they are building the risk infrastructure for the banking system, if you're not aware of that, because I guess most of you are crypto natives here. The Alterscope network is slowly growing. We launched our first phase of the network. So basically you can already use our solution to create risk models. You can get very comprehensive tooling around due diligence. We are working on both sides with DeFi protocols, with major chains like Starknet, ZK Sync, Stellar, but also on the other side, institutions, hedge funds, and crypto asset managers to build a product which will serve the needs of those customers, but more importantly, make the space more safe. Besides that, we are also collaborating with major universities like Cambridge and Technical University of Munich to optimize these models as much as possible. So, what is actually Eigenlayer and why are people talking so much about that at the moment? The idea behind Eigenlayer is actually quite simple. The Ethereum has something like 1 million validators, and the idea was, can we somehow use these validators for something else? And Eigenlayer said, yes, we could actually say that these validators who are validating Ethereum could be also utilized for other service, other means. So basically they are providing economic security for new protocols, because at the moment, even if you are building some kind of chain or some kind of middleware, it doesn't matter how good the tech is, you will always have the problem how to secure this chain. The problem is, like, you can have it centralized, a cloud solution, but decentralization or security means building a very extensive hardware-related validator network, which is not feasible and it takes years. And that's the reason, that's the problem we had over the last years. It's very hard to bootstrap, to create a new chain link or something like that. And then Eigenlayer just came and said, okay guys, we are in very simple terms, a platform or a protocol where validators can dock in, put their economic security, and we will provide this economic security to those projects who needs that for their means. In this case, they are called actively validated services. This could be like co-processors, data availability layers, rollups, automation networks, bridges, oracles, and so on. On the other side, these actively validated services have to provide some kind of reward for those validators. So basically, why would you validate some kind of bridge if you don't get anything. And basically this is all facilitated through Eigenlayer. Eigenlayer has two main elements. The first one is already like live, it's the shared security layer. So basically you put your Ethereum, what you are using for validating the Ethereum consensus mechanism. And the second part is basically insurance of attribute security, which is not yet live, but coming very soon. The issue here is, of course, validating these actively validated these services which is coming up for those node operators is quite complicated, and there are services who are doing that for them. These are these liquid risk-taking protocols known as EtherFi, Renzo, and so on. They are doing this job for those validators. So basically they are managing where your economic security going through. And you already see here, like there are now many components, like it starts with the validation network, then we have Eigenlayer as a base protocol, and on top of that you have the actively validated services together with LRTs. The issue here is that all these components have their underlying dynamic. They are all working in a different way than the other component. On one side you have validators, they have to ensure that the validation is happening constantly. So basically uptime is the most important metric for them. There is slashing mechanism which is happening from Ethereum side, but also possibly coming from actively validated services. On the other side we have Eigenlayer. If Eigenlayer blows up, we will have Armageddon. Why this could happen? The reason is actually quite simple. We have on Ethereum at the moment something like, I would say like it's multiple of billions used for securing Ethereum, and a lot of that is going on Eigenlayer at the moment. Like I believe the TVL of Eigenlayer at the moment is 12 billion, and I really can foresee over the 1 year that it could go to 120 billion or something like that. It's a huge amount of Ethereum going on Eigenlayer. Now, of course, if Eigenlayer is hacked, Armageddon. Besides that, we have all these actively validated services. They are working on their way. They are not all same. And more importantly, they are all connected. Like Lagrange possibly could use some kind of data availability layer, some kind of bridge, Oracle, and so on. And if one of those actively validated services has issues, then the other one could have issues, and then you could have some kind of potential problems on top of that. The interesting side is actually these LRTs, these liquid risk-taking protocols. They are basically managing the security of these validators for the AVSs. You just have to provide Ethereum to them. And they are then smart and then said, okay, we will do the work for you, and we will take this Ethereum, create a collateral, use it as a collateral, and create our own stablecoin, and bring it to DeFi. And we will use this stablecoin to generate yields on DeFi protocols like Pendle protocol and so on. So basically that means the liquidity, which was on the base layer of Ethereum, moves on-chain, moves into DeFi. So it's actually amazing. Crypto, speculation, everything is again exploding. Yet, there is a second part. Besides that, like, I mean, the good thing hereby is basically it's very scalable. So you have 1 million of validators, so basically you build your project, you can overnight get 100,000 validators if you are able to pay them. The issue here is all of them have the underlying risks. If one of those breaks or something happens, it could have consequences for all other elements. It starts actually with Eigenlayer, I said already, like if something happens on Eigenlayer, mostly on the security side, we are in a systemic risk immediately. We have these LRTs. They are using this stablecoin, this Ethereum as a collateral for their stablecoin. There is a possibility of a DPEG event. Like we had even a DPEG event just recently with Renzo protocol, which it was actually just a first case what could possibly happen. Even almost none AVSs are at the moment active. It will get worse in the future, and the reason for that is like these actively validated services to ensure that these validators are behaving according to their rules will introduce slashing mechanisms. That means these slashing mechanisms of these actively validated services could lead to a situation that this collateral of these LRTs could be broken. Like it could go down. It could be like you will have a very volatile stablecoin which can impact then the other ecosystems like DeFi and so on. Even worse, like these validators, they need 32 Ethereums to validate Ethereum proof of stake. The issue here is if they restake and something happens from the active validator services, so basically they are doing some kind of slashing, basically Ethereum could be like affected to that. How likely is that? At the moment, not really, but just imagine, like there is a new protocol, some kind of AVE of actively validated services. Everyone wants to secure this project. And we can already see these kind of things happening. Like there are first projects who are already getting like security of 5 billion, 6 billion, 10 billion, and so on. So basically everyone is jumping in to get this yield because it's a good project, they want to get the reward. And now imagine a situation, they are putting some kind of slashing mechanism in place, and there is something wrong in the logic, some kind of bugs, whatever, and there is a huge slashing event happening. That means immediately on Ethereum side, billions are lost. You can say, okay, but who cares? I mean, Ethereum has 1 million validators, it's not an issue. Actually, the reality is a little bit different. When you look at these 1 million validators, you will realize basically that 1,500 operators are managing Ethereum. Out of these 1,500 operators, roughly top 10 of them have something like 80% of all validators. So Coinbase Cloud has 200,000 validators. Binance has 60,000 validators. Chorus One, 30,000 validators. And you see the issue here. So basically, if they go in on risk-taking side and they are not doing some kind of risk management, they could blow up Ethereum very easily. Like, what does it mean blow up? Like the security of Ethereum could go down. That means with risk-taking, those validators are transformed to crypto asset managers, hedge funds. So basically, they have to do speculation, diversification, do TradFi related risk management to manage the yield on one side to make this working. So basically, companies who are managing hardware are now have to do with risk management. Usually this is done by these companies here, they are delegating here, but on the other side, these Renzos, EtherFis, and so on, they are also not risk managers in this space. You see now the issue here. And actually, it's getting worse because this stablecoin here goes to DeFi. And this stablecoin can be on Pendle, it can be on Aave, it can be on some kind of protocol. And if those protocols having some kind of issue, and if you were last year on my talk, I was talking about DeFi composability of the tech stack, what would happen if some kind of chain link breaks or something like that. We will have this. That basically means even if risk-taking works perfectly, just to do some kind of liquidations happening in DeFi space, could have a ripple effect coming to risk-taking. And you see now the problem. Like, the issue here is like DeFi in itself is complex enough, and we now increase the complexity on an exponential level, like multiplied. Is it going to happen? We will see over time. It will really depend on the slashing mechanism implemented in the place, but that also means how to do these slashing mechanisms, how to ensure also, it's not only that, like how to ensure that these actively validated services have enough security. You are now coming in a situation, what is the cost of corruption? What is actually the cost of profit? Like how much profit can you make if you exploit that? And those kind of questions coming up. So basically, how much reward can you give? How much security do you need? And what is the reward for someone who can exploit this kind of stuff? It's a very, very complicated topic, especially as these actively validated services are not isolated. They are interconnected, like a coprocessor needs a data availability layer. A data availability layer is some kind of, it could be like very simple terms as some kind of rollup. You can go in a direction to use then bridges, oracles, and so on. And you see the problem, like it's just enough that the bridge goes down and we are in a big, big problem here because the other ones are going to be affected. You see, that's the reason why also, you see, I like this quote here from Hemingway. So basically, how can you go bankrupt? It starts slowly, and then out of nowhere suddenly. And I believe this quote describes very well, in general, crypto and the DeFi space. What is the solution? What we at Alterscope are doing? In general, there are two approaches. So far, most of these companies are doing consultancy-oriented approach. You come to them, they are doing simulations, they are assessing the risk, and they give recommendations, and you implement on that side. It's a quite risky business model because we saw it in DeFi, how it worked on lending protocols. You get economic parameters that are updated every few weeks, and there is a blow up because suddenly something happened. Our approach is a different one. We say, let's use a data-driven approach. Let's basically constantly getting data, verify this data, process this data, and create risk models who can 24/7 serve those kind of customers. Hereby, it's very important to get the right data, to verify this data, verify the computation, and get the output in the right way out, and that's basically what we at Alterscope doing. We are building at the moment these models by ourselves. Our research team is very actively on that side working, but we see us more as an infrastructure, and we enable third parties to build these models. Not only that, these models can be also shared, and you can be like incentivized revenue, so basically you can earn money if you have your expertise if someone is using those kind of models, and we just ensure that you have the data, that the verification is happening, and the output is delivered where you want to have it. How are we doing? So basically we are using mathematics, cryptography, and so on, zero knowledge, not to go too deep in these kind of topics, to ensure whatever you're using for your model, it's verified and it cannot be manipulated by our side or by someone else. So far, we have something like 50 to 100 models live. We expect the number is going to increase, and we build intentionally a very simple way how to build this kind of model. So basically, there is a no-code engine in place. You don't necessarily have to be able to code to build kind of models. And the reason was actually very simple. We learned that many of these researchers are not really good coders. Developers are not really good researchers how to solve this problem. So we said, okay, let's create a no-code engine. So basically, this researcher can build their models, and we will still have scripting languages where you can do like more advanced stuff if needed. And just to finish, so our thesis is that we are at the moment in a merger between DeFi and traditional finance space. So basically, we are in a world of financialization of everything. And major driver of that not only are going to be TradFi institutions coming slowly to the space, the Web3 developments, and the complexity rising up with the modularity, what is happening there, but also through risk-taking. And we at Alterscope are solving this solution through our infrastructure. So feel free to use our solution. It's live, or join our Telegram group to follow the updates. If you want to use our solution, so basically just go to our website, click launch the platform, or app.alterscope.org, and you can already build frameworks. Not only that, there are dashboards. You can learn about major LRT projects, blue chip protocols of DeFi, major chains, and there is an even research tool if you want to research, to learn how to deploy your capital before you do something on that side. So basically, the whole project is built on feedback of professional capital deployers like hedge funds, crypto asset managers, institutions, and so on. And if you want more features, feel free to contact us through our Telegram group. Thank you. We have 1 minute, so basically, any questions from your side? Microphone?
Yeah. Hi, thank you for the, I would say, it was a great presentation, but kind of scary. And when we think about 2008, and if we think about some teachings of Nassim Taleb, the Black Swan, etc., it seems like it's coming again, and it will come much more times until this whole space kind of stabilizes and finds out what works and what doesn't work. So yeah, I don't know what to ask. It's just like a general comment. It's kind of scary, and I don't know, like, are we gonna survive it?
I can give a comment on that side. So basically, the last DeFi bull run ended with Terra Luna crash. It was really showing what can happen. And the main problem was actually that those protocols didn't have any kind of risk management in place. Now, what is changing is that we have much more modularity, and hopefully that networks and solutions like Alterscope are going to come to those protocols, making them more flexible. So basically, these protocols are going to be data-driven. Why is this important? The issue so far was always one protocol breaks, it's a blue chip protocol, there is so much exposure in the space, everything blows up, and everything blows up because these protocols are not able to react. Because you have to have a governance structure, they have to have some kind of voting, and then they decide. But we are talking about seconds. Now, with a data-driven approach, verified models, verified data, in a second, there is a data update coming, this model can already isolate themselves from the possible case. Are we there? For sure not. Are we safe in this program? For sure not. But I'm very optimistic in the long run that we will solve this problem, and that especially through the case that we don't have centralized entities like JP Morgan doing the risk management for the whole industry, but dispersed way to deal with that could be the way forward, but we will just need time. And so far, I mean, everyone who's in crypto, just be honest, is speculation. So basically, these guys are by default taking the risk reward.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys.